Hi, how you doing? Thank you so much for checking out the video. It is time for a pounds for purrs workout, and you may have noticed from the title that this was from 2 days ago. Actually 2 nights ago to be precise. I worked out a couple days ago and I did the voiceover, then I was going to upload it yesterday. However, I ran into some issues with the video getting completely uploaded to YouTube, and I have a feeling it is due to the file itself. I don't think it completely rendered from my editing software, so I decided why not just redo the narration, just because in the original file I say it was yesterday and by this time it's 2 days ago, so I figured it'd be more appropriate. Now to get into the workout, it was it was Tuesday, and I wasn't sure if I was actually going to lift or not, just because I was busy most of the day and knew that if I was going to the gym it would be at night, and I haven't been working out in the evening, and I haven't done it actually in quite a while, so I didn't have a really good excuse not to. I was feeling fine, and I did make sure to have lunch before going, which I think really was a great idea and helped, just to make sure that I was going to be able to perform well. And I got to the gym, did a very short warm-up, just went to the Incline treadmill walk at 4 miles per hour, 4% incline for a quarter mile, so it took 3 minutes and 49 seconds. Went right to the platform, loosened up for a minute maybe, and then started with hang snatch. So you saw the triples with 45, 55, 65, and then now you just saw the warm-up sets from the floor. So I did 75 and 85 pounds. While I was warming up, I wasn't sure if I was going to just repeat the same weights from last week's workout or if I was going to increase. I wasn't really sure just because of how a week ago on Tuesday went, because it wasn't the greatest of days. I was kind of sluggish and slow, but I did review the footage and they weren't that bad. They really weren't. Not as bad as I thought they were. And while I was warming up this past Tuesday, 75 and 85 felt very comfortable, but I still kind of had it in the back of my mind to possibly stay conservative and play it safe and just get a good workout, especially it being in the evening where my energy tends to drop. I just noticed over time that if I try to work out at night, it can really be a hit or miss, but I was thinking, you know what, why not? Plus, I really need to give full credit for inspiration by 3 very fit, strong, beautiful women who are at the gym, and they really helped with motivation and just saying, you know what, go for it. Just go ahead, increase the weights that you would have and see how it goes. So I did 95 pounds on snatch, as you're seeing the working doubles for that, which is 43 kilos, and it's moving pretty well. So for snatch, I'll go each exercise one at a time. For snatch, these are pretty good. I'm happy with these, and it's comfortable. It did not feel heavy, which is always a good thing, because I really was on the fence with whether or not I was going to just repeat the same weights as last time or not. And again, with the help and the motivation, it really made a difference and gave me a boost of confidence, and I just went for it. Now, don't get me wrong, if they started off terribly, I would have downshifted, but they went absolutely fine. So for clean and jerk, I'm finally starting to do a warm-up rep, because now as I get heavier, I just think it's a good idea. So here you're seeing a warm-up single with 135 before I go into working weight, which is now 155, or I believe that's 70 kilos. So for clean and jerk, I did another 20-pound increase. I could have easily have done a 10-pound increase and been just fine and okay with that, but I wanted to do another 20-pound increase, so these are moving pretty decently. I'm pretty satisfied with them. So for clean and jerk, I don't know how much longer I'll do that sort of aggressive increase, but as long as I can, I probably will, and especially since I'm sub 225, might keep going with 20 until I get close to about 200 pounds, but I'm literally taking this week by week, so I'm not in a rush to try to plan too far ahead, and especially with going gradually heavier with snatches, I have to be mindful of the fact that I'm still keeping the same pace, so 90 seconds between all working sets. I took 2.5 minutes between snatch and clean and jerk, as well as between clean and jerk and front squat. So the pace was good. I got this whole workout done in just a bit over an hour, which is great. And there will be a time when I will have to lengthen the rest periods. Right now, I'm still pretty well conditioned to the point where these weights are moving okay and I'm not getting really winded or gassed or anything like that. So as long as I can maintain 90 seconds of rest, I'll keep it. And I will make sure that I give myself at least a couple minutes between the big movements. So between snatch and clean and jerk, and probably the same thing between clean and jerk and front squat. And then I'll start to add time, which will lengthen the workouts, but that's to accommodate the intensity or the added resistance. And that was pretty much clean and jerk. So next up, front squat. Another 10-pound jump, and that applies to both the front squat and the military press. Now let's be honest, these reps are just fine. They're okay. I more or less just got it done just because at that point I didn't want to be at the gym a whole lot longer, but these are still fine reps. My depth is great. I'm still muscle cleaning off the floor. When I do get to a certain point, I probably will need to use the rack, but I really enjoy cleaning the bar off the floor. I really do. To get things started, puts me into the front rack position, and I just really like it. It makes things a little bit more simple, and it's just enjoyable for me. Plus, just to get that initiation with the pull from the floor, I quite like it. So I'll do it as long as I can, but there will be eventually down the road a time when I will have to use the rack. But in terms of quality, I'm absolutely a-okay with these. Again, depth is great. I am putting the ever so slightest of stops at the bottom. I can certainly pause 165 for longer, but after doing both competitive Olympic lifts, I just kind of wanted to get it done. But again, these are great reps. I'm not bouncing off the bottom. I'm not cutting anything short or making really any sacrifice to form and technique. So these are absolutely fine. I can continue to do sets like this, and I'll be absolutely okay with that. I just know deep down that if I do want to push it, I can definitely rest in the bottom of the squat a little bit longer, but that is by no means necessary. The emphasis of this program are the Olympic lifts, and these are supplementary. But just from my way of training, I really like having a high standard, just especially for a squat, and then you'll see next the military press. So I really like to be strict but fair. So with this one, I just really want to just make sure I got the volume done, and even then, so the quality of the reps are there, so there's really no complaints. Now military press. So between front squat and military press, just 90 seconds, because it's the same weight. I don't have to change anything, so I just gave myself 90 seconds and then started going into military press. This time around, I just went right back to my usual stance, and also just like with the front squat, cleaning the bar off the floor, which I really like doing. And for military press, it's super fun. I'm a big fan of the clean and press in general, but this one is just a muscle clean just to get things started, get into position. And for 165, this is moving just fine. I can stop it on my chest and then press. So just like earlier, like a couple weeks ago, big emphasis here is that elevation, that shrug at the top for the lockout. I just want to make sure I not only get it, but I'm going to hold it for a bit before I reset and come back down to the chest. I really like doing that as long as I can, and I really would like my military press to get even remotely close, or pretty much to the point where it was before lockdown. It was in a really nice place, but then again, all the big compound lifts were going really well before I had to stop and take a long break. But for this workout, it's the last mover, it's the last exercise. I'm just happy to maintain strength with this one because it's one of my favorite lifts of all time. So we'll just kind of take it as it goes. I think I'll be able to get pretty far before I start to have to really program and stay and maintain it a weight, or just go a little bit more gradually. But there's the workout. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Have a great one, and adopt, don't chop.